everybody, what's going on? Greg Sussman here alongside Drew Dinkmeyer of DailyRoto.com. Tell me break down tonight's MLB slate. Drew, we're full of ideas today.
We are full of ideas. We've been batting around golf. We've been batting around Finding Nemo in the pre-introduction here. So I'm super excited to talk baseball, which is what we're actually scheduled to talk about.
It's a pre-production meeting full of whatever is on our minds. And right now on our minds is your top pitcher on the board. And it's not a surprise it's Justin Verlander, but it's a matchup that has me a little confounded. Facing Milwaukee at home tonight, I get how good Verlander is, but then Milwaukee offense and Christian Yelich, it's scary.
Yeah, it's certainly a potential boom or bust matchup here for Verlander because he is vulnerable to ISO specifically, and the Brewers have that in droves. They have a ton of power hitters, but they also have a ton of power hitters that strike out at a high rate. So Verlander, as he is often, leads the projections in strikeouts on this slate. We're projecting him for 8 strikeouts, and so he's our top projected overall fantasy starting pitcher on this slate. There is a little bit more risk associated with Justin Verlander than normal just because of the matchup, but if you're paying up at starting pitcher, we think he's the way to go.
Verlander is always a really good option, but on FanDuel, you just get so many points for the win that it is really boom or bust. The strikeouts will obviously be there tonight. The length will as well. It's will he get that victory that makes the difference tonight. Consider yourself lucky if you get the win for Justin Verlander at home against Milwaukee. Let's move on to your top hitter on the board tonight, Drew, and taking a look at Nelson Cruz against Seattle. It's a revenge game.
It is a revenge game, but that's not the reason we like Nelson Cruz. It's mostly that, he's facing a soft tossing left-hander in Tommy Milone, who's going to get the bulk of the innings tonight for Seattle. And it's a situation with Nelson Cruz where, historically, whenever you've seen him go up against a left-handed pitcher, you've wanted to attack because he's been so dominant against left-handed pitching in his career. Minnesota's offense just can't be stopped. They seemingly score double-digit runs a few times a week, every single week. The price tag is pretty reasonable at $3,600. We've been pounding the table for Nelson Cruz basically for the last week since he's returned from the injured list, and he's generally rewarded us, so we're going back to it again tonight.
Nelson Cruz and the Twins have so much power tonight against Seattle. Power is going to be aplenty with Edwin Encarnacion, Domingo Santana, Nelson Cruz, and the rest of the Twins all going at it against each other. It should be a fun one tonight in Minnesota. Up next, we get to the Smoak monster, Justin Smoak, for the Blue Jays in Baltimore. A great spot, and what you have to like about him is that price at $3,300. The stadium that he's playing in Camden Yards is tasty as well. Toronto, Justin Smoak. Not much else to say.
Anytime I can talk about the Smoak monster and bring up memories of Lost in that show that just drove such a long period of time in my life, I'm happy to do so. So Justin Smoak tonight, a great play going up against David Hess. He leads the Blue Jays in weighted runs created plus, in OBA, and weighted on base average against right-handed pitching this year. And he's got a great price tag and a great park for power. David Hess doesn't miss bats. It's just a particularly good matchup for the Smoak monster tonight.
Never watched Lost, and by the way that everyone reacted to the final season, I'm glad I did.
Yeah, just watch the first few seasons. Don't worry about the finale. Just like the first 4 seasons of Lost, epic television.
Matthew Fox, so dreamy. So dreamy. All right, nevertheless, unrelated to Lost, unrelated to Matthew Fox, Justin Smoak, a great play tonight in Camden Yards for the Blue Jays. Let's move on, Drew, to your top value pitcher on the board. And if Verlander was your starter tonight, Danny Duffy, Kansas City Royals, is your value pitcher. How come?
Yeah, if you haven't figured it out by the last 2 days, we don't think that highly of the Detroit Tigers offense. We were on Jake Junis last night. Your guy, Spencer Turnbull, pitched very, very well, I should say. But we like Duffy again tonight. The Tigers are a little bit better against left-handed pitching, but Duffy's really affordable, priced at $6,900. They're a very nice price tag, and he's a guy that can get strikeouts. He can work deep into games. Again, we don't think the Tigers offense is that great. They rank kind of bottom half in weighted on base average against left-handed pitching. Even though there are a lot of righties there, we think Duffy is the value pitcher if you're looking to save some salary.
Kansas City and Detroit, an epic matchup that you probably only care about if you're playing on FanDuel tonight. Danny Duffy, I like him in this matchup as well. Not as much as the Bull last night, but Danny Duffy, a fine value pitcher. Moving on to your top value hitters on the board. We mentioned Toronto and Baltimore a few moments ago. We're going to stay there because Rowdy Tellez in action tonight. And the best part about him, $2,400. What else do you like about Rowdy Tellez?
Great price tag for Rowdy, and you want to get Rowdy in your lineups tonight. Just 2,400 gets you exposure to that high implied total for Toronto. Probably the best ballpark environment in terms of scoring conditions tonight in Baltimore with that Toronto-Baltimore game featuring Edwin Jackson and David Hess. Another game that, for DFS purposes is great. If you're just kind of following those two teams, you might not be as excited to watch, but get Rowdy into your lineups, sit down, watch the Blue Jays score some runs tonight, and take advantage of that $2,400 price tag.
$2,400, he's going to try to launch one once again in Baltimore. Rowdy Tellez, a really good option at just $2,400 tonight. The last value play isn't really much of a value play at this price tag, and that's Trey Boom Boom Mancini. He's $3,700 facing Toronto here, of course. It's the game we're focusing on. Why do you consider him a value play tonight?
Yeah, not so much value, but a little bit more under the radar and kind of a low-owned GPP guy to target tonight. Certainly, the price tag will probably scare some people off with the 3,700 price tag for Trey Mancini, but Edwin Jackson has allowed particularly a lot of power to right-handed bats this season. Trey Mancini is the best right-handed bat in Baltimore's lineup for power, so look to Mancini to potentially leave the yard tonight, be a low-owned option to target in GPPs.
Maybe the price isn't exactly right, but he should be off most players' radars. They're going into Baltimore, Toronto, no doubt. But maybe Trey Mancini is one of those forgotten sons tonight for the Orioles. That's going to do it for us here on the FanDuel Hurry Up. I want to thank my guest, Drew Dinkmeyer. Drew, good luck tonight and enjoy the games.
Best of luck and enjoy season 1 of Lost, Greg.
I'll never find out why that plane crashed because I'll never watch it. Everybody, thanks so much for watching. Have fun tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Jim Asanis to preview Thursday's slate. Have a good one, and we'll see you then.